Hi, this is my Bright Sky Challenge submission on the Pokemon Company. You guys are all probably familiar with what the Pokemon Company is. It is the company that is in charge of Pokemon. It's together with Nintendo and Game Freak and a few other people. They collectively run everything Pokemon related within Nintendo, and they just do everything Pokemon related. Short company introduction. Okay, what is their business model then? Their business model is off of just a massive brand. They're a massive brand that's been around for a very long time. They are the biggest anime brand as well as a bunch of other things. They make video games like Legends ZA, Legends Arceus like you see up there, Scarlet Violet, Sword and Shield. They have the entire game series. Also, they make other types of games like they made Pokemon Go, which is like an AR game, world walk around game. They made Pokemon Unite, which is a 5v5 MOBA game, as well as TCG Mobile, which is like a card game online. Then they also run their trading card game, their TCG, which is you buy physical card packs. It's like gambling, and then there's the game. This is very very big, or at the moment it is. And then they have their media. Obviously, they have their anime, they have their movies, they have their manga, they have like all their music, their licensing, everything like that. And they have merchandise. They have their plush, they have their apparel, they have their collaborations. Like you can see up there, it's Nagaba X Pokemon card game. And then they have their events. They have their Pokemon centers in Japan. They have their tournaments. They have Worlds, which was held in Anaheim this year, and brought in a lot of money as well as a lot of other things. Okay, strengths then. The strengths of that, firstly, it's globally recognized. It's a multi-generational brand. It has a massive fan base. It has a strong ecosystem integration between like cards, games, shows, etc. There's a lot of diverse content, which means that many people can enjoy Pokemon, unlike companies like Miniso or Nike that have like specific target audiences. As well as Pokemon is basically a monopoly. Nobody like that is doing what they do gets remotely close to the like how big and how like nobody gets remotely close to how big they are. Okay, weaknesses then. Firstly, the games they make are low-key bad. There's a ton of complaints about like a lack of effort, bad graphics, high prices. Like the most recent one is like $95 or something for the physical copy for their games. Basically, everyone just thinks that like if you look above, why are the graphics in all the modern games so bad? The graphics have not improved very much. They haven't put a lot of effort into it. They're still stuck on the like Nintendo consoles and everything. The games they make are very great. Also, the company itself is not very popular. Not only because of the games, but because of the handling a lot of different things, such as the trading card game. The company itself faces a lot of criticism. People still love the Pokemon, but the company itself is not very popular. Most people would probably choose like switch the parent company of Pokemon or something if they could. It's just that like people keep coming back because they love the Pokemon, not because they love the company. Okay. Thirdly, there's a limited expansion of new technologies, which is their formula for basically everything have been the same for like the past 10 years. The trading card game has remained the same. I guess there have been a few changes, but it's mainly remained the same. Everything's mainly remained the same, stuff like that. And then fourthly, there's like a lack of innovation and new content, which is that like the most popular Pokemon are still the old ones. Such as how like the most popular set of in the trading card game in like the past like 3 years was Scarlet and Violet 151, which is just like the original 151 Pokemon that were first introduced into like the franchise in like 1995 or something. So like most people still love the old ones better than new ones, and eventually like the nostalgia factor will run out, which is definitely one of their weaknesses. Okay, opportunities. First of all, the Pokemon TCG is massive. They make a ton of money off of it. If you look over here by trading card games graded by PSA, there's like the grading company, you'll notice that Pokemon was small back in 2021, and now it's like 50% of the market in 2023, and it's gotten even bigger in 2025. The Pokemon TCG is growing very fast. Secondly, AR/VR technology, which is that Pokemon in real life would be sick. Like everyone just wants to like live Pokemon. They want to have Pokemon in real life. Once we get more like AR/VR technology, Pokemon's likely to take massive advantage of it. And thirdly, there's a massively growing esports market for the video game. So there's this guy, his name is Wolfie VCG, he's basically carrying it, and you can see the growth of esports market. Basically Pokemon, the game itself, esports and like battling on the world's biggest stage, all of that is growing. The championships are getting bigger every year, etc, etc. Okay, threats. I don't really think there's like a massive threat on Pokemon as it stands right now. There's not like a franchise on the market that can really compete with it. I think the main ones we're talking about are like Disney, Marvel, like different anime universes like One Piece and all that, as well as Yu-Gi-Oh! And Digimon. But I think all of these are largely like dead or dying in some way, or at least like not bringing in audiences in the same way that Pokemon is, or in the same way that they used to. things like Magic the Gathering, Digimon, Yu-Gi-Oh are held back by like the lack of appeal it has to kids nowadays. So as Marvel is like dead, and then Disney is like kind of falling off too. Though Disney will always have some type of place in like as like a threat to Pokemon. But I wouldn't say it was like a massive threat insofar as they like raid in different areas. Target audience is literally everyone. The whole point of Pokemon is why they're so popular is that everyone can find something they like. Tends to be ages 6 to 35, basically people who grew up with Pokemon in their childhood. Okay, my first suggestion for innovation, Pokemon theme parks. People want to see Pokemon, they want to live Pokemon. That's part of the reason why people do all this for Pokemon and why Pokemon Go is so popular. Which is that like past Pokemon theme parks or temporary carnivals like Poke Park were unbelievably successful. And I don't see why they shouldn't do it again. There are 0 Pokemon theme parks in the world right now, even though there are like tens of like Mario themed lands, like Disneylands and like Nintendo lands, Universal Studios or something. There's absolutely no reason why they couldn't just like put a Pokemon land inside like Universal or something, or even just build a completely separate theme park for it. I think they would make a ton of money off it just because people that love Pokemon want to live in the Pokemon world. Like, they want to live the Pokemon, they want to explore Pokemon and everything. And I just think this would make them a lot of money. Secondly, little Pokemon robots. I think this is like a goated idea for the future. Once again, you're playing into like letting people live Pokemon, right? Which is like, how cool would it be to have like a little Pikachu just like accompany you everywhere? Like, you can see this guy with his Jolteon robot. You would genuinely make a ton of money. I think like the better humanoids get into the future, I think this is a massive opportunity for innovation for the Pokemon company. Okay, let's talk about a problem and a solution then. I think the problem that we showed up earlier was just that like you have bad graphics on games. You have lower interest due to people less wanting to pay a lot for the games, and just because the games don't have that great of a reputation. I think the solution is firstly, you want to make games accessible on PC and mobile, but like mainly PC. I think the vast majority of people that play games are not on the Nintendo Switch, who would rather be on PC, which is like your computer, and I think you're just able to reach more people. But also, it means that you're not limited by like the bad specs of like a Nintendo Switch. You're not limited by like how good like a Nintendo Switch is. You can make really high quality games, and you can invest more money into creating like well-rounded graphics, unique visual effects, stuff like that. Secondly, you should lower the cost of games. Because these games are available on PC, you'll be able to get like a lot more people. Anyone that's going to buy a $450 Nintendo Switch is probably going to buy the Pokemon game. But people on computer are different, because you need a computer for a lot of different things. So just because they bought a $1,000 computer doesn't mean they're going to guarantee buy the Pokemon game. I think Nintendo would fare a lot better if they made like a $20 game, just because you would get like 5 times the amount of people buying it, which in the end would definitely make you the money back. And it doesn't price out the vast majority of the consumer base, because they're always expanding. So sometimes maybe you make the same amount of money, but you always want to be expanding your consumer base and reaching more people. I think the conclusion here is just that this is a simple fix, and you can make so many more people around the world more happy, and you can grow your brand. And I think for companies like Pokemon, I think the most important thing, insofar as like the company doesn't really harm anyone, I don't think, the most important thing is just making more people happy and making their happiness more like accessible. Yeah. That's it. Thank you.